Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a mostly drugstore tutorial. So if you're interested in seeing a mostly drugstore tutorial, just keep watching. I don't tend to use a lot of drugstore. I do sprinkle it in my everyday makeup routine, but it's not the majority. So I thought today that I would use some drugstore products to show you that they're just as good as a lot of high-end. There is a lot of crap at the drugstore. But there is a lot of good, like my NYX Tinted Skin Veil that I fell in love with. This is amazing. That's what I'm using today. So I just want to show you guys a couple things that are amazing from the drugstore. So I normally do my brows with the Anastasia brow powder. Today I used the Brow Stylist from L'Oreal. I'm actually not even sure if they make this one anymore or if they've changed it, but it's their little brow pencil. It's just teeny, the micro brow pencil. I used to use this all the time before I started using powder. I find powder is just a little bit softer and I have a little bit more control. So I prefer that. So maybe I should look for a drugstore option. I also used the Brow Stylist Plumper. Again, I don't think that they make this anymore. I think they changed it to a different brow gel. But I loved this. It's tinted, it does the job. They're a little darker than I probably wanted them, but we're going with it today. So I am going to throw in a couple of my regular products that I don't have a drugstore option for. So I'll just let you know when they're not drugstore. The one thing that I don't have a lot of for drugstore is eyeshadows. I find them to be very hit and miss in the drugstore. NYX has really great eyeshadows, Milani, Makeup Revolution. Who else has great eyeshadows? Some of the single shadows from L'Oreal are really good, but a lot of the palettes I find are not great quality. They don't have a lot of pigment, they don't have a lot of payoff. So for somebody who's a beginner, that's great. But somebody that's a little bit more advanced and likes a high color payoff like I do, it doesn't really work. So I usually steer clear of them, especially because a lot of drugstore stuff you can't return. So the eyeshadow palette I'm going to use today is the Revolution Makeup X Soph Does Nails. This is their original one. They've done, I think they've got like a highlighter palette and then they have an extra spice palette, which I really wanted to get, but I couldn't find it in Canada. I ended up picking up this one a few years ago at Ulta. And for the price, it's a nice palette. It's got a wide range of colors. A lot of it's really soft. Again, for beginners, this would be great. You've got pops of color, the purple and the green. This pink up here is really pretty. So I'm just gonna do something soft and simple with this, I think, today, because I am going to do the full face on camera. So I'm going to try and use all Morphe, which is an affordable brush brand, and Real Techniques, which is a drugstore brand for brushes. I do have a couple Sigma ones that I will need to just kind of pop in there, but for the most part these are all going to be affordable brushes, which I really like. I think that's important. Brushes don't need to be outrageous. So to start, I'm going to take Tiramisu on my JH33 brush. On the same JH33, I am going to take Peaches mixed with a bit of Mug Cake. Okay, to deepen that on the JH33 again, I am going to mix Peaches, Danger, and a little bit of Mud Cake. And for the lid, I'm going to put pink champagne. Okay, on my GH33 again, I am going to just take Danger and blend that out a little bit. So one of the things I don't have from the drugstore is a liquid liner. I do have a gel liner, but I don't really feel like busting out a brush, so I'm gonna use the NYX eye pencil in black. Which one is this? This is the Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a Turn On Waterproof Extreme Shine eyeliner. Some of these makeup names are just insane. I'm just gonna line the top of my lash line. And I'm just gonna smudge it out with my little Real Techniques brush. I'm gonna leave the eyes there for now. I'll throw on some lashes after, but I'm gonna start with my face. So to prime, I start with my Pacifica Coconut Essence Hydro Mist. This has replaced my Smashbox Primer Water for me, actually, which is not drugstore, and this is, so that's great. They just started carrying this at Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada. I just like to spray a good amount, and then I go in. So these two are not drugstore. I know you can get them at Ulta, but they're not technically drugstore. But I don't have any drugstore primers, so this is the No Problem Prime Essence from Touch and Soul. And then my Touch and Soul Glassy Skin Balm. So my Becca Under Eye Corrector is not drugstore, but I have not been able to find a drugstore option that works as good and as easy. So I just put a little bit on my finger and then tap underneath the eye. You see how that just brightens so much more underneath the eye and just covers that sunspot I have a little more. You always want to use your ring finger underneath the eye. It will naturally apply the least amount of pressure. So for concealer, instead of my Tarte Shape Tape, I'm going to go in with my CoverGirl True Blend. This is pretty good. I use this as a base for my eyes as well today. This is in L100 Fair Porcelain. And I am using my Sonia Kashuk sponges, so those are drugstore concealer. That's really nice. This is a great option if you can't get your hands on the Tarte Shape Tape. or if you don't want to spend the money on it. And just kind of add any excess concealer to the spots that you would normally highlight. Then it's just underneath the rest of the foundation, and it still kind of makes it a little brighter in those areas without being super high contrast. So again, like I said earlier, I'm going to use my Bear With Me NYX Tinted Skin Veil in Vanilla Nude. I love this stuff. So the other thing I don't have anymore, I did have one. It's the NYX Wonder Stick. I think I used it all, but I don't have a like cream contour or bronzer. So I'm just gonna go in with my Milk Baked Bronzer. I'm not gonna like fully cream contour today. I'll use this a little bit for that. I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques sculpting brush. This is my favorite. So I like to pat the product on my brush and then onto the skin. It's on there. And then go in on the skin. I find it much easier to blend. You don't tend to get any harsh lines this way. If you leave like you can't leave it on your skin too long, it's not going to dry out before you blend it. I like it. I also love how buildable this product is. Honestly, you only need the mini, and for the price it's really not bad. Like the big one you would never go through. I don't know that I'm going to go through this one. So for setting, I always use the Milani Prep Set and Glow. So this is a staple in my everyday routine. Unless I'm not setting my face, which is really rare, I'm using this. I am going to use my... this is a NYX Cosmetics brush. It's just a big fluffy brush. I think Real Techniques has one, I just don't have it. So I'm just gonna go in. So I am gonna contour my nose because I have a problem. I do use the KVD Vegan contour color in Sombre, but I will be using my Real Techniques brush. This is, I think it's the same as this one, which is the base shadow, but I love this brush for my nose contour. So for bronzer, I'm going to mix two drugstore ones. I've got the Butter Bronzer and the Bronze Booster from Physicians Formula. Physicians Formula is more expensive in the drugstore, but it's really good. The Butter Bronzer is beautiful. They smell amazing. And the Bronze Booster, both colors are gorgeous. I just think I need a mix of the two. So for bronzer, I'm using my e.l.f. 105 brush. So again, drugstore. Oh, this smells so good. Even though it's like older, it still smells good. They basically smell like sunscreen. I'm gonna finish my eyes I am going to use my M506, and I am going to run a little bit of Peaches and Danger underneath my lower lash line. So for lashes today, I don't have Drugstore. I only use the Tiffany Teal lashes. These are worth the investment, guys. They're incredible. I'll leave my code down below. They're incredible. These are Debbie. Lashes are on. Again, these are Debbie. These are a great everyday lash. So beautiful. So to finish the look, I am going to use my Physicians Formula. This is the Shimmer Brick, I think, the Natural Nude. This is beautiful. I stay more to this side just because of how pale I am, but tend to just kind of mix it all around. And I'm going to use my Morphe M501 as usual. I'm going to take a little bit of that on my inner corner with my JH42. And for blush, I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Again, these smell incredible. And I'm going to use my E3. This is the Natural Glow. Let's see if this is enough. And as usual, I use Drugstore setting sprays, so I'm going to use the Morphe Continuous and my Pixie Glow Mist. And that's the final look, guys. What do you guys think? Mostly Drugstore. It's really pretty. My skin looks great. Yeah, I don't know that I can recommend this enough. I love this. I can't believe how nice this looks on my skin. I have such a hard time finding BB creams or like a tinted moisturizer that actually works. It doesn't look weird and it isn't weird color, and especially one that's not super greasy. I've tried, I think it was the CoverGirl one last year or the year before, and I loved it at first. It looked beautiful, and then like 3 hours in, I was a grease ball, and I'm never a grease ball, so that was a big like no for me. But yeah, this is amazing. I really like this. I'm gonna start using this more often. I think it's really comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape. Very comparable. Physicians Formula for the bronzers are incredible. The blushes are amazing. I wasn't a fan of the butter highlighters that came like this. I found them really glittery, but the bronzer and the blush are incredible. This is an oldie, but a major fave. Like, that's beautiful. And again, the Soph Does Nails palette for Makeup Revolution. If you can get your hands on this, that pink champagne shade is beautiful, and these tones are gorgeous. It blends really nice. It's quite pigmented. Highly recommend. They have a lot of other palettes too. I haven't tried a lot of them, but this one is very good. So yeah, if you guys have any recommendations for drugstore products that you love, let me know. Leave those down below. I love trying new things, so it's always nice to see what other people like using. Because again, with drugstore, I'm a little leery because you can't return it. So I'll try almost anything, because if I don't like it, it doesn't work for my skin, I can take it back. So yeah, like I said, if you have any recommendations or you have any questions, leave those down below. Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!